Hi, everybody. This is Michelle Strauss from CapCan. We're here today celebrating FAFSA flagged, all hands on deck. It's time for us to get moving to get our FAFSAs done. I know many of you have been working on them with students, and we appreciate everything that you're doing. Appreciate everyone's patience as we're all learning the new form and the new processes. I have two of our fabulous state experts with me today, Chad Somerville and Jen Chappelle from Michigan Student Aid, and they're going to talk a little bit about what they know about what's changing even as early as yesterday with the FAFSA and how we can respond and support our students. So why don't you both introduce yourselves? Chad, well, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle. Chad Somerville here. I am the outreach manager for my student aid. So we recently made the transition over to MyLeap and still in the same capacity that we've always been in promoting and administrating the state of Michigan scholarship and grant programs.
Great. Thanks, Chad. And Jen.
Hi, my name is Jen Chappelle, and I am an outreach analyst for my student scholarships and grants. And I am the outreach person for the Lansing area, Ingham, and 10 counties around this area, working with high school students and their families, trying to get good information about our scholarship programs, and of course the FAFSA, which this year, if you haven't heard about the FAFSA, you've been living under a log, maybe, I don't know, but they've made changes to it for the first time in 40 years. And so it's not been real pretty, but they're working on it very diligently. And in all honesty, it wasn't that bad to file it. I will get into more details about that. But right now, we just had a new update that came in yesterday. A little disheartening, but we've got to remember that everybody is in the same boat here. Once FAFSA is receiving students' information, the next step is for them to turn around and release ICERs or the students' information to the schools. And unfortunately, that was supposed to happen recently, in the last couple weeks, or they were saying at the end of January, but now they've just released new information. They're also adding on a comment that says that as part of our continuing commitment to put students first, we will ensure students and their families receive all the aid that they are entitled to receive to account for inflationary adjustments as required under the law that created this new FAFSA. The department has updated the supporting tables used in the Student Aid Index calculation, or the SAI, ensuring that students are benefiting from approximately an additional $1.8 billion in aid. So, they might just be saying that to make us feel better, but it does make me feel better that if they're putting out another 1.8 billion in aid, that there's a good chance students will see additional Pell Grant money. So this is not going to slow the availability of students being able to go out and file the FAFSA. Obviously, the first thing to do is encourage the parents and the students to create the FSA ID. Once that's created, it takes 3 days to activate. You guys probably all heard that. Then once you go out and file the form, it really wasn't that bad. There is video clips. I think there was like 4 video clips. They're each less than 2 minutes that give you a very good idea of what they're asking you for, why they're asking you for it, who needs to be on the form, who's the contributors and the correct parent to be doing that. Here's an example of what the FAFSA form looks like. I honestly was pleasantly surprised when we filed this form and the information that we got back from it. I do have an example of the email that my daughter received from once we filed the FAFSA, and I was going to show that.
Yeah, so I just pulled up for a second that people can see what the
Okay.
FAFSA page looks
Yeah.
like on Student aid.gov. And as Jen alluded to, there are all these really great embedded videos throughout the FAFSA form. So if you have someone that has difficulty reading some of the instructions, they could certainly watch the video, and that might help them as well. And then the side chat, the little virtual assistant, that's been working pretty well. I know I did a couple of FAFSA nights where the 1-800 number wasn't available during the time we were doing our FAFSA, so the kids live chat, and that worked just great. So I encourage people to check that out as they're working through the form. But I'm going to stop sharing so Jen can share what she learned when she was working with her daughter.
All right, let's see, share screen.
There it is.
All right, you guys can see it. Okay, so this is what it looks like, and the email is coming from the U.S. Department of Education. So when you're looking for that, that's the title that you're going to be looking for from the sender. They let us know that we received the application. I noticed that they're not saying that it's completed or processed or anything like that. But it is saying that they've received the application. Honestly, my daughter started her portion of it. It probably took us 15-20 minutes to do that. Also, I was very diligent about watching the videos and stuff like that so that I could share this information with people. So she got really irritated with me, but anyway, we did get through it. And I do feel like they lead you through step by step throughout this. I'm not going to say that you're not going to have any, experience with slowdowns or potentially them kind of saying that they're, this is what's called the soft launch. And so they're on occasion taking down the website and trying to put corrections in and stuff like that. But at least if you know what your estimated SAI or student aid index is, you kind of have something to work with. And not that I would encourage you guys to all go out and call the financial aid offices of the schools right away or anything like that, but it would be a possibility if you call them and say, maybe you could say what my SAI was, and my SAI is $7,622. Could you even estimate like what my financial or somebody's financial aid in the 23-24 academic year looks like with that kind of a SAI? I mean, it can't hurt. They may not be able to help you with that exactly, but that would be my advice, is if people are really chomping at the bit. The other thing is that I went out this afternoon, any school that is using federal financial aid has to have something called a net price calculator available on their website. They are not updated, unfortunately, yet with the new FAFSA formulas and calculations, but that might be a possibility in the near future, in the next month or two, where students, if they're really chomping at the bit to try to see what kind of financial aid they can receive from a school, maybe go to the institutional website and do a search for net price calculator and possibly get a rough estimate of what kind of financial aid you may be able to receive at that institution. Here, I'm sorry. This is what happens next. Let's look at the rest of the email. I only showed you the first part of it. So what happens next? Tracking the status of your form, watch for school communication. I honestly don't think that, so once the schools are receiving them within the first 2 weeks of March, they're saying that the school's going to have to make sure that their software isn't interpreting the data correctly from the FAFSA. So that's going to possibly hold up stuff and make sure that, everything gets handled under that. So the information that you're receiving is correct. My best guess, and obviously we don't know this for sure, but I would say that the May 1st acceptance deadline could quite possibly end up getting pushed back by a month or two. Because how can people really decide, if they can afford to be at an institution without being able to see a solid financial aid package? So, but the
Right.
good thing is that everybody in the country is in this boat. We know even from going through COVID that we will figure it out and students will get financial aid and they will get to go to school in the fall. I don't think
Great.
it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, thanks, Jen. I think,
Mhm.
just to reiterate what you said, it's really important for students, to be monitoring the communications from the colleges and universities on which they've applied. This year, they can add up to 20 colleges, in the FAFSA form. So that's a lot of, potential emails to be managing. But if you set up your, let's say, Google email to be the dumping spot for all of your school emails, then you can keep better track of those communications that are coming in. And I know that's a new habit probably for a lot of young people, but it's really important. That's how the world, I guess, communicates is via email predominantly. So it's critical for students to be following their email fairly regularly. And then when you get that information, when that email comes through and it starts to tell you, what the school is going to award you, take that letter, take that email, show it on your phone to your college advisor or to your school counselor, and they can help you interpret that information so that you understand, how much you're going to pay out of pocket versus how much you're getting in Pell versus what you might be getting in work study. And then, of course, the last thing we want people to be doing is taking out loans. But there may be an instance where your full cost of going to school, you are going to have to take out some, hopefully subsidized loans, either student or parent plus loans. So keep that communication going between yourself, the college that you're most interested in attending, and then your counselor, your college advisor. So thanks, Jen. Anything you want to add, Chad?
Uh, yeah, I mean, just being with the state of Michigan, I always like to plug in what maybe the FAFSA can unlock for students. So what we're seeing right now too is for the students, and this is looking at the class of 23, students that completed the FAFSA, about 7 out of 10 of our high school seniors last year were considered eligible for the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. And I just wanted to put that plug in because it's such a game-changing program with the state of Michigan now, and that could provide up to $5,500 per year for up to 5 years for students um, who are attending a public university. Those amounts can vary based on a variety of factors, but the key to unlocking all of that eligibility is completing the FAFSA. So we are definitely seeing the majority of students that are completing FAFSAs in the state of Michigan are qualifying for that program.
Yeah, and when we're out and about, we tell families all the time, this is the most money we've seen in generations for post-secondary education in the state of Michigan. So don't buy into the words that you might hear from some people that A, college isn't affordable, and B, there's no money out there for you, because chances are, if you're a family that is making under $100,000 a year in the state of Michigan, you're going to get something, right? Something from either the state or the federal government. And then it also unlocks, as you're alluding to, other dollars. And in many communities, particularly in Lansing, it's going to unlock your Lansing Promise Scholarship if you live in the Lansing School District, or it could unlock institutional aid from Michigan State or Olivet or whatever institution. So FAFSA is that door to all things money as it relates to post-secondary education, including funding that for accredited organizations that might offer, vocational programs, trades programs, like Douglas J. I mean, all of that comes through your accessing the information through the FAFSA.
Absolutely. And I just did want to reiterate because Jen said it so well too, but it is so important that although it's unfortunate that the federal student aid announced the delay with FAFSA data coming to institutions and state agencies, this does not impact the student's ability to file the FAFSA today.
Right.
Students and families can still go on and complete. It's important that they do. Yeah, it's just, I wanted to reiterate that delay is in terms of the data that's getting to the higher ed institutions, and then folks like us with the state of Michigan.
Great. Well, I'm so grateful for the two of you to spend a little time talking with me about this. And we want to let certainly counselors and college advisors know that we're here to support you on the ground at school. If you're having a FAFSA night, the SSG team can come out and do a presentation about, you know, what is financial aid, what is the FAFSA, what is available through the state of Michigan. And then our team of college advisors and other trained FAFSA completers can help families walk through the process. Keep an eye out at your school on nights that they're going to do FAFSA completion. And if you don't have any other resource for FAFSA help, feel free to reach out to our office. I'm going to put the email address where you can send us information and request assistance. And then you can always follow us on social or check out our website. We keep all of our FAFSA FLACT information on our website. So look for those flamingos. And if you see that flamingo and you haven't filled out your FAFSA, that's a reminder to take care of it as soon as possible. But certainly we want everybody to get this done probably by the end of April. Great. Any last minute words of advice before I let you go?
I can't think of anything.
Just a friendly reminder, if you're a high school counselor or college advisor that doesn't have a data use agreement on file with us,
Yeah.
this is a great time to complete that. If you go to michigan.gov/MySSG, MISSG, you complete a data use agreement. It has to be filled out, completed, and signed by the high school principal or superintendent. That gives you access to FAFSA completion data in our system. That way you can see your students who have completed and who have not completed. So just a plug to get that in on file if you don't already have it.
Great. Thanks
Right.
for the reminder.
One more thing too is if you would like me to come out to your schools and do one-on-one tip talks with your students, please reach out. I'd love to do that.
Great. So thanks everybody for all the work that you're doing to support students to complete the FAFSA. We'll get through this together. We'll try and have a little fun along the way. And for the winning schools in Ingham and Eaton County, we're still gonna have a pizza party. So the winning urban school and the winning rural school will get a pizza party for your senior class. So get your FAFSA done. So, thank you.
Thank you.